Good evening. Welcome to the Tewksbury Select Board meeting of December 17th, 2024. Before we begin, can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you all for that. We had scheduled a working session with the SCG Choice and Icon issue or plan for the Trahan School, and they're not going to be here, so we're going to move on with stuff that is not time scheduled. But first, I want to welcome our new town manager.
Thank you.
His first meeting. Yeah. May you have many more.
Yes.
All right. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you for the appropriation of Affordable Housing Trust Fund to pay for a consultant for affordable housing purposes. The floor is yours, Mr. Curran.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is just a process where I think it would be good due diligence for the board to do a financial assessment of both proposals, make sure that the profit margins and everything else are reasonable, and because I know that the town is looking to possibly invest some money into this just by virtue of offering the land as a lease is an asset to whoever builds on this property. So I think it makes sense to do that. So there's a couple of companies that I've used in the past for things like this, RKG, and we reached out to try to get a preliminary estimate, but we're unsuccessful. But I think an appropriate action on your part might be to appropriate an amount from the Housing Trust not to exceed $20,000 for the purposes of studying the affordable housing proposals for the Trahan School site.
Okay. Mr. Ryder, any questions?
No, I think it's a good idea. I think, with both proposed projects, both being different, completely different in value, what they're looking for from the town, I think it would be a good opportunity to get an outside set of eyes on it.
Mr. Grabman?
No, I agree. The residents have talked to us before about if we have town land, instead of selling it off, trying to find a way of reusing and be able to, and one of the priorities is to be able to find some affordable housing in this community. So I think it's a good investment and something we could look into, so I'm all in for it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kratman. I'm actually all for it too. And the reason being is when you said they audit and they make sure the money is being spent appropriately and nobody's making a fortune off of it. In other words, that's my concern, because this is taxpayers' dollars that I want to see sent to good use for housing. I know there is a profit margin in there somewhere for someone, but it doesn't have to be extravagant. And I think this consultant would be able to refer to that.
That's the goal.
So, with that being said, what is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve not to exceed $20,000 appropriation from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund to pay a consultant for affordable housing purposes at the discretion of the town manager.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion made by Mr. Kratman, seconded by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. That's a 3-0 vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, now we're going to move down to minutes. Mr. Ryder.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We have some to catch up on. We'll take them individually if you don't mind. Make a motion to approve the minutes for June 25th, 2024.
I have a motion made by Mr. Ryder. The chair will second that motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That's a 3-0 vote.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the minutes from July 23rd, 2024.
Have a motion made by Mr. Ryder, and it'll be seconded by the chair. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That's unanimous.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the minutes from September 10th, 2024.
Okay, the chair will second that. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Chair votes aye as well. Mr. Kratman?
Aye.
That's another 3-0 vote.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the minutes from September 17th, 2024.
Okay, any questions from any board members? Hearing none, I'll second that motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That's another 3-0 vote.
And lastly, Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the minutes from October 22nd, 2024.
Any questions?
I'll second that motion.
And we have a motion made by Mr. Ryder, second by Mr. Kratman. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And that the chair votes aye as well. That's a 3-0 vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
That was a lot of work.
Yes, it was. There was a lot of minutes we went through. We had a lot going on at that time, so.
Okay, now we're going to go up to Town Council invoice. Mr. Curran.
Thank you. We have two invoices, one for the month of October 16th through October 31st, and the other from November 1st to November 15th. I'm very familiar with Feely and Brown, having worked with them in Bill Ricker's Labor Council, so I recommend approval of both of these invoices.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the town council invoice from October 16, 2024 to October 31st in the amount of $3,527.50.
Okay, I have a motion made by Mr. Kratman,
Second.
second by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That's a 3-0 vote.
Mr. Chairman, I also make a motion to approve the town council invoice from November 1st through November 15th in the amount of $4,377.50.
Second.
And I have a motion made by Mr. Kratman, second by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Okay, now we're going to go up to new business. Amusement license renewals. Let's see what we got here. Carmen Beck. Okay, I don't see any amusement licenses here. Oh, here we go. Okay, amusement license to be 2025 entertainment license renewals. We have Capellini's, Knights of Columbus, Coyote, Long Meadow, Main Street Sports Grill, and Oscar's Pinata. Any questions on any of these?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the licenses as submitted.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion made by Mr. Kratman, second by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That's a 3-0 vote.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to just make a friendly amendment to that. I know some of them, with approval that all taxes and things have been paid. I know there was a couple of notes that have some outstanding invoices, so I just want to make sure that they're approved pending all the fees and things that have been approved, have been received.
Okay, next is the 2025 automatic amusement license. We got Breakaway Ice, Knights of Columbus, Merrimack Valley Pavilion, and Oscar's Pinatas. And I think there's an issue with one of these.
There's ones that do not.
It's the Merrimack Valley Pavilion. She's going to hold that, like, we can approve the license, she's going to hold it because they're in the process of doing whatever they're selling the place.
Yep. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the license pending receivement of fee to the town.
Second.
Okay, a motion made by Mr. Kratman, second by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, that does that pile. I don't know where the other folder is. Oh. I don't see any auto license renewals. You don't have any folders left over there, do you?
Which ones?
Auto license.
The auto ones were in there.
Last auto's right here.
Oh, okay. Okay, 2025 class license renewal, 12/7, for 2025. We have AK Motors, Auto Fair Toyota, Ballard Truck Center, Boudiettes, Dominic Germano, Echo Auto, and Tewksbury Automotive.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the class auto licenses.
A motion made by Mr. Ryder
I'll second that.
and second by Mr. Kratman. And do you want to add the addendum that all?
Yes, I'll make sure that no license is given out until all taxes and fees and appropriate documentation is provided to the town.
Okay, with that being said, we had the motion by Mr. Ryder, second by Mr. Kratman. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. That's a 3-0 vote. A common vic license. We have Donna's Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, Hoonin' Walk, Knights of Columbus, Long's Kitchen, McDonald's on Andover Street, We Me Kitchen, Merrimack Valley Pavilion, Oscar's Pinata, Residence Inn, Tessie's Pizza, Tewksbury Rod and Gun Club, and the Pull-Up.
Mr.
Any
Chairman,
questions?
I'll make a motion to approve all the licenses with the things that we received, the proper fees and taxes and documentation has been received.
I'll second that.
I have a motion made by Mr. Kratman, seconded by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We did the entertainment ones. I don't see the liquor license ones here.
They were, there might be 2 folders in that one.
This is the common vic license.
There was a folder that had a page in between.
Okay, so. No, maybe it was this one. Not this one. Automatic amusement license. I'm not seeing it.
Want to look at the entertainment license?
No, liquor ones.
No, liquor licenses. Entertainment license, entertainment license. Entertainment license. Entertainment license.
Well, we've signed them, Mr. Chairman. I know we've had them, so.
Yeah.
With that said, I'll make a motion to approve the liquor license renewals with the caveat that all taxes, fees, documentation, and any outstanding issues with the town has been resolved.
And I will second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I have a motion made by Mr. Kratman, seconded by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, so these are all the licenses. They're going to be mixed in one of these.
Yep.
Those signatures.
I honestly thought we approved them at our last meeting, but there may have been something that was
They were-
outstanding.
There was only one, there's a list if you want those.
That's what I was looking
There's a list. One's on hold and that's the only other one.
Oh, okay, I do have that here, and we just approved it, so it should be good to go. Okay, next on the agenda, approval of donations to the Veterans Department Holiday Luncheon.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the donation.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
And all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 And chair votes aye as well. Mr. Curran, can you please have the Veteran Service Officer send letters to the people who donated? Thank you letters.
Okay, yeah,
Lisa Downey, send a letter. Thank you. Lisa Downey, send a letter of thank you.
yeah.
Okay, correspondence from EKS Corporation, Board of Health. That was the Petroil. We approved that license. They did pay all their fees and fines or whatever they had to pay, so we should
And
be good to
they're meeting with the Board of Health, which will handle any outstanding issues,
go. Right.
so.
Okay, no one's here from the Treehouse yet. We'll give that away. Route 133 Cannabis LLC HCA. Mr. Curran.
So this is sort of a boilerplate host community agreement. Yeah, it just requires your approval. I think it's a good thing to have, but most of it's all statutory requirements.
Any questions?
No, so it's the same, they're all the same, all three of them are the same, so.
Right.
So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the host community agreement for Route 133 cannabis.
And I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Kratman, seconded by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye as well. That's a unanimous vote, 3-0. Okay, we'll hang on to the Treehouse Brewing parking issue for a little bit. Town manager, this will be your first speech. It's
So
your
what
time.
is the proper protocol for, I've issued a town manager's report.
Yeah.
If you have any questions about that, I can answer them. I know what the practice is here for that.
Just if anything outstanding, or if you want to make
Any comments?
Any
comments about as you being the new town manager.
All right.
You can make comments about Mr. Sadwick.
We don't have that much time.
All right, I'll just give you the Reader's Digest version of my report off the top of my head. With a couple of the issues. One is, I've been here for 2 weeks, and I'm very impressed with the staff here in Town Hall and next door at the Annex. A lot of very good, qualified people. They do a great job. They did a good job on the doors for our contest. However, Brian Dorrington got a Grinch on his door because he didn't put anything up. So, so that's one of my new policies that I've implemented. If you don't do the contest, you get a Grinch on your door, placed by me personally. So anyway, some of the things, just to give you a heads up, the Shawsheen School has moved into the eligibility process for the new school. So that's a very daunting project. I mean, I think that given what we've seen in some of these vocational schools, that could be anywhere from $300 to $400 million. But that project is very far down the road at this point. I don't believe they'll even be eligible for the feasibility study until FY26. So we'll continue to follow that, but I think what's important for the town and other towns that are involved with Shawsheen is to closely monitor what the end solution is, whether it's renovation addition versus a whole new building. I mean, I've watched that they did build a life science building over there, renovated that section of the building. They built all new fields over there. So ordinarily, I'm a proponent of new construction, but some of that stuff over there is already new construction, and we want to make sure that whatever the solution is, it's affordable and efficient for all of the members of that school district. So that's one thing that I know I didn't put on the report that I wanted to make sure the board knew about, and I'll put that in my update for next week as well. But other than that, I'm working on the budgets. Al has been great with that, and we're on schedule with that. Things are looking like they're manageable. So we'll get through that process and get the budget to the board in January, and follow that with the enterprise budgets and the capital funds. So things are moving along, and happy to be here.
Thank you. Okay, so
I got a question. Mr. Manager, as you're talking about Shawsheen, you meet with the other town managers, so you'll be meeting to have conversations with the other communities that are doing that. Is that correct?
Yes, I've already had one conversation with the town manager in Billerica about this issue, and I actually had a conversation with Tony McIntosh, the superintendent, yesterday about where they are in the process. So we will, and we do meet regularly with the with Shawshene, so we will be talking about it a little bit.
If you meet with the other town managers and you get a feeling for their take on it, or just like an update on where that is at that point.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ryder, anything?
No, I'm all set. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on to board member reports. Mr. Kratman.
The LRTA didn't have a meeting this month. We had, the MBT Advisory Board did come in here. We had a meeting with Mr. Montori, Mr. Curran, and myself, and we had to just sit down to discuss with them. The LRTA is beginning free service beginning December 1st. So now everybody that's in the community can hop on the LRTA for free. It's a grant that's coming in through the state. It's supposed to run through the end of October of this year. And if it continues, we'd like to see it continue, but it really depends on, what the finances come in from the state. The only other thing is I want to commend Alex Lauder and the town, the DPW, and all the other departments that worked very hard to put together the holiday lighting, the Christmas tree lighting. They did a wonderful job. My board members over at the chamber donated the gingerbread man, so there was a lot of people taking photos, and it was a well-attended event. I know the town manager was out there, so maybe he can comment on it a little bit himself, but I think they did a wonderful job.
Mr. Ryder.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick update on the school reuse committee. We have visited all of the schools, have toured all the current inventory to get an idea of the needs and condition. And we'll have another meeting tomorrow night. And Economic Development Committee will be meeting in early January. So that's it for now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. I just have a couple of items. One is, I want to reiterate what Mr. Kratman said. I did show up to the Christmas tree lighting. The team did an outstanding job, and if you look out the window, it looks nice. Secondly, I think everybody got the text message from Mr. Curran in regards to the police coming down the street the other day with their sirens going. And I want to welcome home one of our own, Officer Matthew O'Brien from Iraq. He served over there. He's a police officer in town. They did a nice job. And I want to thank all the police officers who volunteered their time to do the escort, and I want to welcome him home. I'm sure his mother, Kathy, is very pleased. Lastly, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a safe holiday. That's all I have. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Curran?
Just what Select Board Member Bratman talked about with the holiday lighting, and they did a great job. I brought my daughter up here, and she really enjoyed it. And they do a nice job with the lights, and Santa Claus came around in the truck, and I was happy to see that he was inside the truck instead of on top of the ladder, like I'm having heart palpitations when that used to happen. So it was a great event, a lot of good people. Vinny and Alex and all of the people that worked on it did a great job, and very dedicated employees. Town's lucky to have them.
Well, that's it. Santa was in the truck because it was 10 below zero.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was very cold. Yes.
All right, as of now, we are going to take a recess until 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, welcome back from our recess. We have other items on our agenda that we're going to attend to this evening, but before we do that, I want to state there's only 3 of us here this evening. Ms. Miller had another commitment, and Mr. Mackey is home recovering from surgery. I wish him well. I hope he feels better. But before we even move on to the first item, if anybody's here for the Howland Burt American Outside Advertising LLC 3 Executive Place electronic billboard, we will not be hearing that tonight because we need a supermajority, which there would need to be 4 people here. So that is going to be continued to our next meeting, Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, can I have a motion to continue with time specific to our next meeting?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we're going to continue this to 7 o'clock, and our next meeting is on January,
7?
okay, so we're going to
Yeah,
continue
7th.
January 7th at 7 o'clock. Okay, now we're going back to our 7 o'clock. National Grid Verizon jointly owned poll petition, Pine Street. Is anybody here for that?
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes.
Name and address. That's not
Can you
on.
hear me?
Okay,
Okay.
I can.
My name is Alec Birdsong. I'm here to represent National Grid in the matter of the installation of a new pole on Pine Street.
Okay. The floor is yours. Tell us what you're trying to do.
Well, we propose to install a new pole, 20-50, an existing pole line approximately 69 feet westerly of the existing pole 20, in order to provide electric service for the new home going in at 171 Pine Street.
Okay, board members, any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. So the new pole is going in and the old pole will be removed, correct?
No, this is going to be a new installation altogether, is my
Okay.
understanding. So we left the existing poles in place. Joe, the designer, met with the DPW out there and they marked everything up. I think there was an issue with the original pole being too close to a storage, the original location too close to a storage facility.
Okay,
And so the solution was to install a new pole,
okay.
not to replace an old pole, is my understanding.
Okay, when I saw it said that resting against something, I thought that pole was being removed. So, okay, that clarifies it. Thank you. And the poles are going, I didn't see a map for this, but it's, oh, there it is, sorry. Yep, got it. I'm always looking to see that it's not in the right-of-way where there's any sidewalk or anything, so you've already taken that into consideration?
Correct.
Okay, so it's not in any place even, is there sidewalks out there?
Not that I believe when I looked at it. I did take a look at it, and I didn't see any sidewalks there.
Okay, yeah, but just make sure that
It's far
it's
enough.
far enough that when we do install them, that we don't have to relocate it, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that he did meet with the DPW out there.
Yep.
So they marked everything and agreed to the location. I think
Okay.
it was Kevin.
All right, thank you, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ryder?
No, all set. Mr. Hardeman reviewed this. It looks like everything is okay on the DPW side, so I'm good.
And the 3 trees that are being removed are ones that are leaning into the poles? Or the trees leaning into that?
Leaning into the poles. Perhaps, I didn't discuss that issue with the designer. I do see that there are trees to be removed. I don't know if they're leaning into the poles as much as maybe being
I
in the.
think they need to remove the trees to locate the poles.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're leaning into the poles necessarily.
All right, I have no further questions. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the National Grid jointly owned pole petition for Pine Street.
Second.
A motion made by Mr. Cratton, seconded by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. That's a 3-0 vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're just going to bounce back down to Treehouse Brewing Company, LLC, parking issues. If you can come up and introduce yourself for the record, I'd appreciate it. Name and address. Before we begin, I want to make sure everybody knows that this is not a debate. This is informational. We have brought the Treehouse in because there seems to be some type of parking issue with your organization. It seems like some of your customers are parking on somebody else's lot, and they shouldn't be. You know, I congratulate on having a successful business. I wish everybody had a successful business. But if your clients are parking in somebody else's lot, they can have a successful business. So the reason we brought you in here was to see how can we amicably solve this problem with your abutters. Well,
Great.
you can speak.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself, name and address.
Yes, so Sarah Maggi-Morin, I'm with Treehouse Brewing Company. I've appeared before you before. Thank you, Chair Holland, invite Chair Kratman and Member Ryder. Nice to see you, John. I understand that there was some discussion about parking last week. We were also up for our renewal for pouring, common vic, and entertainment, I believe. And we are making every effort that we possibly could to get additional overflow parking for the Treehouse location. So talk to John, and I'm happy to appear before this board at your pleasure anytime. But thought maybe I'd open it up and just give you a little update on our efforts to work on getting overflow parking. So everything's been approved by the planning board, so I won't take up the select board's time going through every little thing, but just a little bit of the timeline. So we acquired the property in 2023 and submitted our first plan review to the planning board in May 11th on 2023. We were fully approved by the planning board on July 15th, 2024. So we have been working on getting additional parking for some time now. We then got our permits to start mobilizing and clearing the site. So we started that on October 15th, which was very exciting. To date, I don't know if you've been by, it looks like a beautification effort. We're pretty proud of it. It looks very tidy. It's, you know, it was the former Funland location. And right now we're coming up against the cold weather and a moratorium working on the street there. So the second that moratorium is up and asphalt plants open, we are ready to rock right away. No one wants to have overflow parking more than Treehouse, though we very much intend to and look forward to working with the town, open communication of where we are in the project and what our plans are. If there is a way that we can apply for a hardship on that moratorium, that's the term. I haven't gone down the line enough, but I did speak to town manager about possibly asking for the town or this board's support, just in terms of if that's something we are capable of applying to, so we can, the second the weather is nice, get going. We have waited to be fully operational with our golf mostly, limited our golf. We're not open for full days on Saturdays and Sundays or later into Fridays, just because we want this to be the smoothest, most pleasant experience for our guests. So we're extra motivated on top of getting this lot and having ample overflow parking for those days, because we are really much looking forward to full golf operations. And then occasionally, you know, we haven't been doing very many private events or any of those sort of things, because it's our serving the community and making it kind of an easy experience is critical to being good members of this community. So again, we're ready to mobilize as soon as we are able to, and it is very much my job to get this done. So with that, that's the update there. We absolutely want to be good members and of this community and really good neighbors. That's important to us in every municipality. We know that we have a positive economic impact to the municipalities that we're in, but you're right, everybody needs to have their business thrive. We hope that we contribute to that, and we will continue to and are very open at any time to work with the town to be great neighbors. So,
Okay, well,
thank you.
again, that's the thing. You said you want your customers to have a great experience. If their car is getting towed, I don't think that's such a great experience.
I agree.
So we need to know what you are going to do now. Other than the parking lot that you're building, I understand that, and I wish you well with it. But is there any way you can monitor people walking across the street and say, do not park there? Have a sign in your facility that says, if you park not in this lot, you're going to get towed.
So I know that when we have on occasions anecdotally told folks that they shouldn't be running across the street from other area businesses. I do know that our neighboring businesses have private property and you will be towed, and nobody should be trespassing on, I fully agree, no one should be trespassing on their private property.
Now, have you reached out to any of the abutting businesses in regards to this? Or have they reached out to you?
Yes, we have had contact with one business, yeah.
And what was the result?
There is pending litigation. They filed suit against Treehouse.
Okay. Mr. Kratman?
Yeah, honestly, this is the last meeting I want to have. I've been saying right along, Tewksbury is a business-friendly community. I wish that when we have 3 abutting, or maybe 4 or 5 actually, abutting lots in, businesses that are doing well, that some sort of community meeting can happen where it doesn't have to come in front of us. So I hope that what I'm going to suggest is that the town manager, I'm going to make the recommendation that we give the authority to the town manager to meet with the local businesses to see if, I know you're trying to get approval to do so. I'm not even sure of, I try to keep track of what the businesses are doing, but I've gone by on certain nights and you're really packing them in there, which is wonderful. We want to have thriving businesses, but I've gone by on Thursday night and people are going, like, there's not enough room sometimes, and they're going back and forth of what they're doing, and so I've seen it myself of what's going on, and I'm like, once that lot opens, I think that's going to resolve a lot of it, but I just want to make sure that in the meantime that, you're not hampering. If a car gets towed, it's not only affecting your business, but it's affecting the other business, because now they're getting, grief that they took somebody's car out, but yet they're trying to maintain their own business. So if there is a way that you guys can work with up some signage or something, or, when the lot is full, put some signage, overflow parking this way, that kind of things, anything that you can do to work it out so that we do not have to sit and have these meetings. I do not want to have businesses coming in. I want to be promoting, and I want everybody to say all Tewksbury residents and all Tewksbury businesses are doing wonderful, and we have enough of what we're doing there. I do have some questions because I really don't know a lot about your operation and some of the things. So one of the things that I did notice, I drove by and I tried to get a feel of what was going on during some of the peak hours, and you have the outdoor seals kind of thing, and you have a lot of spots for that where people come and they pick up during the. Do you know when the peak hours are of when you're filling up the inside? And until you get that lot, is there a way to maybe work to change the pickup times for the other products so that maybe you could free up a couple of those spots? I'm not trying to find a way. I'm hoping that you can say, we're trying to find some ways to go around this. I'm just throwing some things out there. Like, there's got to be some way that all businesses can work well together. And that's our goal. It's just make sure that you're all thriving, you're all working well together. I think that your businesses are probably helping the other businesses, because maybe some of those people are leaving there and going over to the other businesses as well, and vice versa. But like I said, but we don't want to have, somebody fighting and arguing in another parking lot, which we're hearing is happening. That people are going over, then they're very upset that their vehicles are being towed, and then they're taking it out on the other businesses, and all they're trying to do is control their lot. So if I don't know if there's any ideas or thoughts of, until that happens, of controlling that. I mean, is there certain hours of operation that maybe you could limit the pickups of the people just purchasing that are coming and going, and using some of those additional spots? Or is there anything else that maybe you can do to, I mean, you sell tickets online, right? Is that correct, to go into the brewery?
So it's not ticketed entrance. We had the ability to prepay for all of the items that we have available in order to cut down on friction and make it a smoother guest experience. We're now doing far, far less prepaid drink tickets and just having the guest interaction at the bar. But two things that I heard you say is, one, continuing to work with the town and the town manager, who's been very nice to spend some time with me thus far, so early in his tenure here. And then also taking a look at the dedicated spots that we have for pickup. That is something that I can absolutely meet with the operations team there and see if there's any place that we can hone down that. Or hone in on that. Our operations are unpredictable in terms of the ratio between guests that would like to enjoy the tap room and guests that would like beverages to go. For example, traditionally across our system, the beverages to go are pretty popular this year because people pick up Treehouse and take it to their holiday party. Other times on, a Tuesday afternoon in February, people aren't necessarily in the party mood, but they would like to come into the tap room and cheer up a little. So it's not an exact science for us, which is why we have limited some of our additional operations, such as golf, and limiting the number of private events that we have for that purpose, to be able to function both for serve guests in the tap room, but also the beverages to go. So I'm sorry that I don't have a hard, this is a solution to it right now, but I think that's a great suggestion. It's absolutely something I will talk to the ops team
Like
about.
I said, I'm looking for all the businesses to work together, come up with a solution together, work with our town manager, and resolve this in an amicable way where everybody's doing wonderful. We don't want to be the referees. We're not siding with anybody. We just want to make sure that when we're giving out licenses and we're doing something, that all businesses are working together to make the community, that's the goal.
Yes.
We give licenses out to everybody to make the community a better place, and we're bringing revenue, and we're helping to keep the taxes down for the residents. So the better that all of you are doing, the better off we're doing. So we're not looking to hamper you in any way, but we also want to make sure that you're working together, so that there's some line of communication. I think having the town manager be somewhat out there to meet with the businesses to see if there is a way that you can work together to make this happen, I think that would be a great beginning. And just keep that line of communication open, so that, I'm not even sure, I know you're trying to get the lot across the street. I have some concerns with that, honestly, of the traffic going in and out, because it's not going to be coming out that side street. But we'll get to that when it comes through, where I just don't know what the traffic, that intersection is very busy. And so from what I understand, you're going to have like a right out of coming out of the additional lot. And I think everybody's really going to be going toward 495. So I got concerns that they're going to come out, take a right, turn around the parking lot and come back. So, and we're going to have to figure that out. So when that happens, like we put on our thing when we have these licenses, that if there are issues out there, that we may want details at some point. If there is some problems, I want to make sure that people can safely cross the street to go to these places. So that'll be a consideration, what's going on. I know the planning board reviews it. The state has the jurisdiction over 38, but our job is to make sure we're giving licenses out to make things safe. So I want to keep an eye on that. So when it's fully operational and things are going, I would like you to continue to work with the town manager. And if there is if we need additional lighting out there to make sure that people can safely get across that street, if there's some sort of temporary other crossing or something like that. I know you have some parking that you have an agreement with one of the lots, right? You have like some employee parking or something?
We're parking our employees off-site
Yeah.
in an effort to make as much parking available to guests as possible.
Has there been any effort to see if they'd be willing to give you any more for letting over?
Yes, unfortunately, that's not an option. But
Okay, see, that's the things we don't know.
Yeah.
So, but if you've tried and you made an effort, we'd like to at least hear about it.
Okay,
So if you could keep us in the loop that, we've done everything we can, that's what I want to hear.
yes,
That we're going above and beyond to try to find ways to keep things going, working with the local, and if somebody has some ability to help you, use it. It's like, to take
for
it.
sure. Yep.
All right, that's
Thank
all I
you.
have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Ryder.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for coming in. Couple items. How many spaces will the new lot be?
It will be 98
Okay.
to start, and then a year, I'm not reading from the permit in front of me right now, but I believe a year after those operations, we get to expand it, I'm going to say maybe 20 more spots, 20 to 30 more spots.
Okay.
So we're sort of rolling it.
Okay. So do you, as part of your process, where are you in the driveway access permit for Mass DOT? Has that been submitted? Do you have approval?
So we will have our next round of approvals. They go 25, 75,
Yep.
100. We'll have our next round of approval. They've committed by the December 24th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But we've had rounds of comments and have addressed everything.
okay, so as far as construction on the parking lot, you're going to continue construction, everything except for pavement, correct?
So if it's totally cleared now, all of the debris and outbuilding and all the fun land things have been removed. We've leveled the site. All that site work is complete. We left in front of it the pavement and the fencing, so over winter, we wouldn't have people visiting and illegally parking on that lot. So what we're going to do is when we have the okay to work in the right-of-way, we're going to remove the pavement that's in the front of it, and then we're going to pave the whole thing. So right now, there's a hold on the work that you can do at the street level, so we're not going to pour asphalt and then, or at least a base coat, have the winter conditions, and then start it up again in the spring and put the finish coat on. So in terms of to expedite it, doing it all at once is the route that we're going to go.
Okay, great. And again, I think having, echoing what Mr. Kratman stated, having the town manager work on behalf of the board to advocate for the town, businesses, work together to make sure that everyone's getting along and everyone's businesses are functioning as they should. As part of your advertisement and your social media, do you post any type of parking? You obviously must have a map where your pickup
Yes.
area is.
Yep.
Can you put something on there that states this is treehouse parking only? Again, during that high peak time, letting individuals know that when you're visiting Treehouse, and it may be just an option when you're visiting Treehouse, you get there, the parking lot's busy, and you planned on dinner, you do dinner before. Kind of really gives that, the visitors to
Yeah.
your establishment an option, and understanding that this is the parking, maybe advertise that you're putting in additional parking. Look what's coming in spring, things to come.
Yeah.
So things like that will help, I think, the visitors that are not from this area. I think anyone that lives in this area knows the landscape and knows where to park. But I know you have a great following, and people come from all over, and we want to continue to have that happen. So maybe if you could put something on social media just to direct people in the right location.
Yeah. Yes, and thank you. That's a great suggestion, and I will look at it. On each of our locations on our website, we have a kind of how-to
Sure.
treehouse. I will review that again, and I will send that on to the town manager, and if there's suggestions from there, I certainly think we can make a statement that this is the parking available for treehouse.
Yeah, I
It's
think
a good
that will help.
suggestion.
I really do. I
Yep.
think that will help. You know, you give an aerial, there's a lot of things. And
Yeah.
obviously advertise the new parking. That will help anyone that's come and it's been crowded. Listen, we're in the process of building a new parking lot. You know, we're going to open up more spots. We love to have you. So again, Tewksbury likes having you in town. We love the fact successful businesses, and I want to continue that same relationship. So again, thank you for coming in, and I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to echo my colleague's sentiment and have you go through Mr. Curran, and Mr. Curran can go to the business owners in the other lots and work together. You know, again, I don't want to see you here again either, you know? Because it is an issue and is affecting other business. I don't know what the correct answer is. Maybe put a signage on one of the big beer cans in front of the thing that says, if you're not parked in this lot, you're getting towed. Something to that effect. The other thing is reach out to those businesses and maybe they'll lease you some spots. Obashan Hardware, reach out to whoever owns that parcel. They always have plenty of parking. They might be, you know, run a shuttle bus. I don't know what the answer is, but all I know is I don't want businesses arguing. I want them to be successful, you know, and I appreciate you coming in and you're going to work with Mr. Curran to solve this problem. So thank you very much. That's
Thank
all
you.
I have.
Thank you.
Mr.
very
Chairman,
much.
I just want to make it an official thing that I'd like the board's approval
Okay.
to make a vote to have designate Mr. Curran to work with all the businesses down in that Livingston, Shawshene corridor to try to figure out a solution. And I want all the businesses to be proactive. Like, I don't need him to, like, we don't need when there's a problem. Let's be proactive. Let's all work together. If it's, you have something that's upcoming, you're looking for our support to give you something, to ask you to be able to work through things, we'll gladly do that. We need you to come back and show that you're being proactive too. So I don't know if we need additional lighting, we need, if there's concerns down there, if we have residents, businesses, somebody coming to us saying there's problems or whatever it is, we want to say we're already working on it. We're not, let's don't fix it after the problem. Let's try to work together and try to resolve it at a time. So I'm going to make a motion to ask the town manager to work with the existing businesses to try to resolve some of the issues and try to work that, and I'm looking for a second one.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Kratman.
I'll second that.
And I have a second by Mr. Ryder. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much. Nice meeting you.
Okay, we have one more thing on the agenda, and that is,
I'm so sorry. I had one last question. Will there be a vote this evening on our 3 permits that were?
Yes.
to be renewed? Okay, thank you very much.
Those were done, all the permit licenses were done earlier
Tonight,
today.
all day.
Tonight. So
Thank you
everything-
very much. I appreciate your
Everything will
time.
be done.
Thank you.
okay,
Residents.
residents, last item on the agenda. Any resident wishing to speak?
You got to come up to the microphone, please.
Yep.
So you already voted that license in the previous meeting?
We did them tonight.
Good evening, gentlemen. My
Name
name
and
is,
address for the record.
excuse me?
Name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Patrick Catino, and I'm the owner over at 1830 Main Street. I'm the business that's getting affected by the parking problems over there. And I just wanted to express my concerns. Just a few years ago, not even, we welcomed the Treehouse into our community, and we thought we had a good neighbor. Over some time, I noticed, looking out my windows, the number of cars in my parking lot didn't correspond with the amount of people in my building. So I stood there and I watched them, and the people parked and walked over to the Treehouse. So this was happening weekend and weekend out. And my daughter, who had made contact with the treehouse, told them about this problem. And we worked with them to resolve it. We had some tentative agreements, but nothing ever came to fruition. But one of the big things was they said that the town does not allow outsourcing of parking. And I know with all the stumbling blocks along the way that they came in and came out, but never once did they ask for a waiver on that outsourcing of parking. Now, at times, I have additional parking that I could help accommodate with them in their parking problems. So, it became such a problem. There were 45, 50 cars out there, and we sent them a cease and desist with not much action. They did communicate to us that they were trying to get more parking, but that didn't end the problems. So we told them we were going to tow them, and the response I got from them, it's not their problem. But my contention is they're creating the conditions that are causing the problem with the parkings. I know some of the tenants, some of my neighbors' tenants are getting squeezed out. People will see their parking lot jammed, and they'll just drive by and go to another restaurant. Excuse me. So with the towing, we've had to deal with angry customers that have been drinking, screaming and yelling, threatening, my teenage workers to a point where they're afraid to come in by themselves. At one point, a mob of people surrounded the tow truck driver and threatened him to drop the truck or else there's going to be a problem. So this has been going on. And it's cost me a bundle to have the parking lot monitored. I have to have a person stationed out there 5 days a week. And I think we've towed nearly 100 cars in the few months. And that doesn't count all the courtesy people that we said, hey, if you leave it there, it'll be towed by the time you come back. Nobody wants to tow an old lady or a mom and dad with a kid in tow. And it does not also count the gotaways. And as a business owner there, and I have multiple businesses in my building, and in retaliation, they're giving the businesses bad reviews, don't go there, blah, 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 because they got towed. And I got to tell you, I've been in Tewksbury for 25 years, and I serve the community. We have a lot of seniors, handicapped, young kids, and the thing that keeps me up at night is knowing that people are consuming alcoholic beverages and then coming into my parking lot. Now, God forbid something happens in my parking lot, the liability is going to fall squarely on my shoulders. And those are just the tip of the iceberg of my concerns. So, and that's what I'm going through there.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Next.
My name is Ricardo Rullo. I'm an attorney. I actually represent Mr. Catino. I did want to just announce that I was here, that I am here, and I like the idea, I love the idea of continuing the discussion and including the town manager of Mr. Curran. But I also want to say we've been begging for months, and I'm not going to get into the details of settlement discussions, but we've been begging for just minor things as a sign on their property. And the other idea that I think it really makes sense is if you ask people for ID, what's the big harm of just also saying, can I see your ID? Are you parked across the street? Simple as that for now. I understand that there might be a parking lot across the street, but that's really what I would ask for now. But I did want to, again, just go on the record that we will be contacting the town manager and continuing the discussion as that is the neighborly thing to do, and I will address that next.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Bowley, 852 East Street in Tewksbury. I own the parcel across the street at 1866 Main Street from Treehouse. I'm not going to go into details. I think Mr. Catino has covered most of that. I just want to say I hope we can get this. I'm looking forward to working with the town manager. I hope we can get this to some kind of an amicable agreement that everybody will be happy with. And that's about all I got to say. That and Merry Christmas to the board and everybody in town.
Thank you, sir. Okay, that's it for our agenda. Any other comments by board members?
Yeah, just, you know, we've talked to Treehouse, we obviously have the other board businesses out here, and same thing as we spoke to Treehouse. I also would like to ask that you reach out to the town manager as well, and maybe there could be some sort of community meeting or business meeting to resolve this. So we're looking to help all the businesses, not just one, we're trying to help all of you. So if there's a way that you can meet, find some common goals and make this work, I'd really appreciate it. So we want to be able to promote happy businesses in Tewksbury, not problems. So if you guys can resolve it one way or another, I'd appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, we have nothing else on our agenda.
Motion to close the meeting.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Ryder.
Second that.
Have a second by Mr. Kratman. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Chair votes aye as well. Good night, Tewksbury, and Merry Christmas.